few years ago on a pretty cold, wet, drab West Coast kind of weekend. Went to my local comic book shop, not really expecting much. Wasn't really finding much. There was nothing really there. Stuff was either too expensive or, too confusing or just crap, you know. But what I finally settled on was a pretty drab looking book, and it was The Ultimates by, I should be better prepared than this, but we're looking at Mark Millar and Brian Hitch, of course. And it blew me away. Blew a lot of people away, I guess, because it came out with a few subsequent issues where we have, bear with me, we have the Ultimates Volume 2, followed by Ultimates 2 Gods and Monsters, and Ultimates 2 Grand Theft America, all of which really seemed to surpass the last one. It took really old, tired characters like the Hulk and Captain America and Thor and Iron Man, characters that had just been done and done and done and done, and real nowhere characters like Hawkeye and the Wasp and Giant Man, and did a redact on them. Went back and rewrote them a little bit. At first, I thought it was going to be kind of a weird Spider clone ripoff, just pretty shitty, but I was really surprised and I fell in love with it. And I really fell in love with some characters that I hadn't thought about in a long time. But recently, and every volume, I waited with bated breath. And I saw finally the latest edition called Ultimates 3 by the team of Jeff Loeb, who you may know from The Long Halloween, or let's see, Daredevil Yellow, all those kind of things. Superman for All Seasons. Good writer. Not my favorite, but pretty competent. But anyway, I don't know what they were thinking. I thought maybe John Byrne was writing this book when I first picked it up and started to read it. Well, it's flashy. It's got, fancy cover, and but there's nothing there. I mean, I'm going to talk a little bit from a list because I don't want to bore you too much, but a few things that I had a problem with. The characters. Like, my favorite character in the Ultimates was Captain America. They'd taken this character, a preachy, kind of jingoistic character, turned him into a soldier, and a very interesting soldier. And they redesigned his costume, gave him a very cool helmet with a strap, but it's it's right here, which I always thought was pretty cool, and a lot of real world aspects came into the book. But in this new one, they have reverted to Captain America wearing that sort of hood that he wears without the little wings, thankfully. Um, Whereas the Captain America in well, let's see, we'll call it the Millar Captain America. Looked trim, looked like a soldier, acted like a soldier, moved like a soldier, looked like a soldier. This Loeb's Captain America just looks like a steroid monkey. He just looks like a guy who put on a mask and a tight little costume. Looks like one of those weird sort of Captain America rip-offs that Jack Kirby used to do. Thor, what's the deal with that? And the hammer. Um, goes back to this old sort of, 70s, 80s hammer that he had, away from the cool hammer that Millar and Hitch gave him. And the only explanation is that he's got this huge chest of spare hammers. I thought that was very lame. And is that what they call hanging a lantern? I'm not sure. But they took him. They buffed up his character, turned him into this sort of Dog the Bounty Hunter kind of guy, and he's not interesting. They took Valkyrie, who is another potentially interesting character, part of that weird new Defender kind of fanboy superhero team. All of a sudden, out of the blue, she's got these powers, and she's got these amazingly, she's all buffed out too, just like the Thor, um, Tony Stark, Iron Man. Whoa, there was another character, very interesting, had stepped out of the old kind of stereotype. But where do we find him in this book in Ultimates 3? back into the demon in the bottle. Brrr, I can't think straight. Brrr, which is boring. It's been done a million times. It's been done better, and I thought we were really getting away from that. I thought, you know, it would be sort of a little more interesting, uh, if not politically correct, to look into the life of a functioning alcoholic rather than a stereotypical fall down gutter drunk. Um, and his armor. We're back to the weird sort of suitcase armor again, or briefcase armor, which never really made sense in the first place. I thought it lent a real air of authenticity when Stark had his 50 or 75 man tech team with him to put his armor on and make it work, rather than something he could carry around under his suit or in his briefcase. I thought it's a real step backwards. The Wasp, it's like Mark Wolfman, George Perez Wasp from the 80s. Yuck. Hawkeye, it was a great character, a lot of potential. I liked the stuff of him as a family man. It was sort of good character stuff, and even when the characters got killed, they could have done some neat stuff with that. But again, he's back to being another superhero, another angry superhero. You know, it's like the 80s again. The Hulk. Where's the Hulk? He's one of the best characters in the book. He's funny. He hates Freddie Prinze. He's horny. He's jealous. He's the Hulk and Banner. What a great character. He's he's hard to beat. He's gone. Where's Fury? Like I'm surprised that Lope didn't get all misty and put the old Charlton Heston Nick Fury back in there. The Triskelion. Where is it? Like these were amazing looking places. The way Hitch made them look real, made them look vast, and made them look powerful. Made Shield look like a very powerful organization, especially having all of these superheroes working for them. Yeah, and we had and where's the semi-realistic New York City, or the very realistic looking New York City that Brian Hitch gave us? We're back to almost a Todd McFarlane level of artwork, where we'll just draw a lot of brick walls in the background, a lot of smashed brick walls in the background, hope that works, and try to avoid drawing feet as much as possible. Um, as well, speaking of Todd McFarlane, you have the big two-page spread of Spider-Man. I mean, and also you have these appearances of the X-Men in particular. You have Wolverine and Magneto. I mean, those seem like desperate places to get readers, and it's a book that can't stand on its own pins. The changes that were made, the things I talked about, Thor, the boring Tony Stark thing, Captain America going back to his sort of previous way of looking. It takes everything away, but it doesn't add anything. Millar and Hitch added so much. The scrolls, um, the Man Out of Time thing with Captain America. We missed that. Um, oh, and where are the European super soldiers? Where's that whole program? It's almost in our world. Anyway, yeah, Millar, he turned a group like the Avengers, who were old and tired and on their last legs, when you start having, characters like Giant Man in there again. He's turned these characters into, persons of mass destruction as they have been described in the book. And they really feel that way. You have things like the Hulk incident in Manhattan. That world's 9/11. But now, lo, they're back to being sort of small A Avengers. It doesn't do anything to it. I mean, if they want to give the book a lot of oomph back again, what we want to do is get Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley on there. They will truly turn them ultimate. Anyway, don't buy this book. Stay away. Spend your money elsewhere. Maybe buy some early issues of Authority. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening.